Good morning, dear students. Today, let us learn about the first lesson of second PUC biology syllabus, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. See, dear students, we know that in the plant kingdom, all plants are going to show three types of reproduction. One is vegetative reproduction, where the plant body is going to break up into fragments, or in some buds will arise to reproduce or give rise to new progeny. Similarly, we have second type of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction. Here we see there is single parent involved in reproducing new progenies. So as a result of this, whatever progenies we are going to get, they all have same genetic composition as that of parental plant. So for asexual reproduction, we have different means like sporulation. Among spores, there are different types. Okay, and when you come to the higher plants, they show plant propagation, where different parts of the plants are going to be used as propagules to produce new plants. Similarly, the third and the most advanced type is sexual reproduction, where we see the involvement of two parents. One is male parent, another one is female parent. The parents are going to produce sex cells, male and female sex cells, in their respective reproductive organs. So, in lower organisms, we see that these male and female reproductive sex cells are going to be produced in specialized structures like cones, and then Androecium for male reproductive structure, and then Archegonium as female reproductive structure in the lowermost plants like algae, bryophytes and all. Similarly, in pteridophytes and in case of your gymnosperms, we see there are male and female cones, that is microsporophyll and megasporophyll, which bears these structures inside their microspore and megaspore. Now coming to our angiosperms. Angiosperms are also called flowering plants. Why they are called flowering plants? Because these are the specialized, highly advanced group of plants which are going to bear their reproductive structures in the flower, a beautiful part of the plant body. So, flowering plants, they bear their reproductive organs within the flower, and that is the significance of flower. See, dear students, these flowers, how they have been formed, because we know that in algae, in bryophytes, pteridophytes and gymnosperms, we don't find the flowers. Flowers are present only in angiosperms. How is that? How they are going to be produced there? Is it sudden case? No, dear students. It is all slow process. We say a evolution, where a descent with modification. So a shoot, a branch of the plant body has been descended with little modification, finally into a beautiful organ of the plant called as flower. See, dear students, see the flower shoot system, which was earlier having internode, node, okay, and every node was producing the flowers. Every node was producing the leaves, and during the course of evolution, what happened? All these internode, they degenerated and disappeared completely. As a result, all these nodes fall upon each other like this. Okay, as I have shown you in this diagram, all the nodes are falling upon each other, and the work of node is to bear the or to produce the leaves. No, so every node, instead of producing leaves, it has started producing different orals of flower. Every oral of leaf, instead of leaves, it has produced modified organs, and they ultimately together make a fascinating, beautiful organ of the plant body called as flower. That is why we say flower is a modified shoot system. Okay, from shoot system it is been modified or changed to become a beautiful flower, and it is the reproductive part of the plant body. The flower, see, it is having so many importance. See, biologists and botanists especially, they say that it is the marvel in morphology and embryology because it beautifies, it adds beauty to the plant body. At the same time, it bears the male and female reproductive organs. So ultimately, it is going to produce a new generation in the form of fruit and seed within. That is why it is called embryological marvel. Okay. Now, apart from this studies, it is also having importance in our social life, in religious way. Festivals, we use it to decorate, to offer to the deities, the god and goddesses, and at the same time it is being used as a culture also. Means to wish somebody, we use obviously flower knee. And at the same time, when we are going to show mourning also, we'll be offering the flower garland. Okay, so that's how it has taken so many, in so many ways, it has become very important to mankind. Now, let us study the different orals of flower. Dear students, to explain that, I have taken longitudinal section. Lengthwise, the flower is being cut here and drawn, the diagram. My dear students, the flower, see, it is having a stalk on which all the different orals are being arranged or located. Okay, the stalk of flower is called as pedicel, and above the pedicel there is a swollen portion called as thalamus. And thalamus is also called as receptacle because on this thalamus the different whorls or parts of flower are going to be situated. So, thalamus is otherwise called as receptacle. Now, on this thalamus, we see there are 4 different whorls of flower are found. They are namely sepal, okay, sepal, petal, stamens, and then pistil. Dear students, sepals are usually greenish in color. They will be in some flowers very small, in some flowers they are little large also, and they have got so many different shapes in different species. Similarly, the sepals are not present as a single sepal. They will be in a ring or a oral. Okay, oral or a ring of sepals are being found on the thalamus as a first layer or first oral, and this oral of sepals is called as calyx. Okay, and this calyx, it serves the purpose of protecting the flower. When the flower was a flower bud, before blooming, it was actually from outside covered by this sepals of calyx only. The sepals, different number of sepals from the thalamus, they arise and they cover on the inner parts, inner orals of the flower. Thus the flower bud was protected nicely. Now, when the flower is completely grown and bloom, so at this time the sepals have taken the lowermost area and still they are giving grip to the next continuing orals of the flower. Okay, now that's about the sepal, and unit is called sepal, and many number of sepals arranged in the form of a ring or oral is called calyx. Now coming to the second oral of flower, that is petal. Dear students, petal, as you all know, is the most colorful part of the flower, and we see the different colors and different shapes of petals in different types of flowers. Okay, now this flower part called as petal adds beauty to the flower. It adds beauty to the flower, and oral of petals is called as corolla. Corolla becomes the second oral of the flower. First oral is calyx, corolla is the second oral. And in some flowers we do find the presence of small nectar producing glands in between the corolla and the next orals. Okay, one or two glands will be there which produces a sweet fragrant juice called as nectar, to which the insects and birds get attracted. Not only for the color, the bright color of the petals, they get attracted. Apart from that, they get attracted towards the flower for the nectar, which is sweet to taste, and it gives energy, and then it will be having a pleasant fragrance. Okay, now coming to the next oral. Dear students, the third oral of the flower is stamen. Stamen. Okay, the number of stamen in each flower differs. In case of monocot flowers, usually 3 stamens or multiples of 3 are present. Whereas in dicot flowers, in Brassicaceae family, it's called mustard family. Okay, we find 4 or multiples of 4, and at the same time, the all other remaining families, minimum 5 stamens or multiples of 5 stamens will be there. The same in the case of petals also. Okay, now that's about the stamen. Do you know what is the stamen is? Actually, stamen is the male reproductive organ of the flower. Stamen is the male reproductive organ of the flower, and each stamen, when you observe it carefully, it comprises of 2 parts. A long stalk, which is very thin and long. Sometimes it may be short also. Okay, this is called as filament. The stalk of stamen is called filament, and over the filament there is a cap-like structure. A cap-like structure. It is called as anther. And in the anther, we see the production of the male gamete bearing structure called as the pollen grain. Pollen grain. Microscopic spherical structures called pollen grain, also called the male gametophyte, or the spores. Okay, microspores are produced within the anther. Okay, so that's how the stamen becomes the male reproductive organ of the flower. And many stamens, they are called as androecium. Androecium or stamen. It is the male reproductive organ of the flower. Now coming to the next part, the fourth oral of the flower, that is pistil. See, pistil is quite different in its appearance from the stamen. And you can see here, every oral is having their units which are different from each other. See, sepals were like this, and petals a different shape and bright color, whereas stamen was having only a stalk and a cap-like structure, and the pistil is completely different. See, pistil is a female reproductive organ of the flower, and pistil is also called gynoecium. Gynoecium, and each gynoecium or pistil comprised of 3 important parts. One is the basal swollen region or basal swollen part nearer to the thalamus. This is called as ovary, which continues on the upper end in a form of a hollow long tube called as the style, and it ends by a flat velvety structure called as stigma. So we can see ovary, style and stigma are the 3 parts of pistil or gynoecium, which is a female reproductive organ of the flower. Now dear students, this swollen ovary or ovary is having sometimes in a flower single ovary will be there called as monocarpellary ovary. So that means the other name of ovary is Carpel. Okay. So sometimes many carpels are there which are fused, and from outside it appears as if it's a single ovary. So there we say it is syncarpous condition. Okay. 2 carpels, 3 carpels, 5 carpels or many number of carpels which are fused and appearing as if it is a single ovary from outside. It is called syncarpous condition. Sometimes we see many ovaries or carpels are attached on the axis, making a free carpels. The carpels will be free from each other, not in fused condition, and that is called apocarpous condition. Okay, so ovary, style and stigma are the 3 parts of pistil or gynoecium. And within ovary, we have small soft structures which are seed-like, okay, which are going to become in future as seed. They are called ovules. Ovules. And the ovules are unfertilized seeds, because after fertilization, the ovule are turning into a seed, and within the seed the embryo, that is future progeny of plant, is produced and growing. Okay, so that's about a flower parts. Now coming to the division of these orals, dear students, among these 4 different orals of flower, they have been classified into 2 types. The calyx and corolla are called as non-reproductive orals because they are not directly involved in reproduction. Because you know, stamens are male reproductive organs and pistil is a female reproductive organ. No. So, calyx and corolla, they are non-reproductive orals of the flower. But they are indirectly participating in reproduction. How is that? Means they are, because of their beautiful shape and color and fragrance in between them, if nectar gland is there, then they are the organs who are going to attract the pollinators. Who are the pollinators? Insects. Okay, insects, birds, animals, and even we human beings, we help in pollination, means carrying of pollen grain from the anther onto the stigma of pistil. Okay, so this is called pollination. Now, because of the beauty, shape and fragrance and bright color, the calyx and corolla are attracting the pollinators or pollinating agents. So once the pollinator, they do pollination, then obviously fertilization will take place, and after fertilization the ovary will get converted into fruit and ovules become the seed. Thus when the seed are formed means next progenies are guaranteed. No, that is why as sepals and petals or calyx and corolla are indirectly helping in reproduction. That is why they are, again, means that's how. But if they are not there, then also reproduction will take place. That is there. Okay. Now next thing is the calyx and corolla are also called as accessory orals of flower. Accessories. Why do we wear accessories, dear students? To become pleasing. No, to appear beautiful. No, so that's how the calyx and corolla, as they are adding beauty to the flower, so they are also called accessory orals of flower. Okay, so calyx and corolla are non-essential orals of flower, and at the same time non-essential orals or non-reproductive orals. At the same time, they are also called the accessory orals of flower. Okay. Now coming to stamen and pistil, that is Androecium and Gynoecium. Dear students, as I told you in the earlier key, the stamens are male reproductive organs and pistil is a female reproductive organ. That means they are very much required for reproduction at any cost. Okay, without them reproduction cannot take place. That's why they are called as reproductive orals. Reproductive orals of flower. So that's about a brief discussion of the parts of flower. That's the first topic of our first lesson, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. My dear students, thank you for watching this video. If you find it, if you are able to understand nicely, well and good. Thank you very much. And if you have any doubts, please put in the comment. And then if you like the channel, please like it, then subscribe it and share it to your friends. Thank you very much for watching.